Colorado families. This week on Community Chat, Hagen Nares PLC truck wreck and brain injury lawyers is interviewing Dr. Jeffery Hogan, owner of Hogan Health and Chiropractic. Dr. Hogan comes from a family of physicians and found his way into the chiropractic field as a former athlete who witnessed firsthand the healing benefits of chiropractic care. We're here to learn more about his journey to starting Hogan Health and Chiropractic, what's it like to be a patient of Dr. Hogan's, and we want to hear from him some of the myth busting that comes about from very common misperceptions about really serious injuries that can be caused by low speed and low property damage collisions that I know first well as a personal injury attorney. I really appreciate Dr. Hogan. I know him well. I could call him a friend, and I really want you to know about him. So welcome, Dr. Hogan. How are you doing?
I'm good, Caitlin. How are you doing today?
Perfect. Well, I really want to hear about your journey. I want to hear about how you came to be even a chiropractic doctor and how did you think to start your own place, Hogan Health and Chiropractic. Tell us that journey story.
Yeah, and I may have had almost like a little bit of more kind of unconventional way than most chiropractors. More in the sense is I didn't know anything about it until my late teens. And so I grew up in a small town in Canada. I played hockey growing up. Multitude of injuries, numerous shoulders, knees, back, everything that you can kind of think of. And it wasn't until my later on in kind of my playing days, into my late teens, I should say, the team I was playing for had their own chiropractor on staff, and so we were being treated fairly regularly and addressing certain issues and things like that. And those few years that I played for that team, I had the least amount of injuries, played more games than I had previous years combined, and so I really could see the benefit that it brought to myself and playing hockey as well. And so it was kind of right around that time where I was going into school and getting ready for school and kind of figuring out what I kind of wanted to do with life once my hockey days were over. And so I knew I wanted to be in the medical field, and so that was kind of like the kind of the nudge in the right direction. And kind of as you stated previously, my sister's a physical therapist, my brother's a dentist, and so we kind of went into the sciences. We went into that medical field, and so chiropractic just seemed like a very good fit because I witnessed firsthand what it did for myself, basically there. And so I went to a small school just outside Detroit, Michigan, Oakland University. Did my undergrad, health sciences, exercise science. And then immediately after that, I headed down to Port Orange, Florida, with Palmer Chiropractic College. And then soon after that, I came out to Colorado, and I've been here ever since. And so when I first came to Colorado, I was working under another doctor, another great friend, mentor of mine, Dr. Adam Tome. And so I associated with him for a little bit, and then was able to kind of go out on my own. And so Hogan Health and Chiropractic, we opened that up in 2016. We were initially in North Glen, Colorado, a little bit north of the Denver area. Moved a little bit more north once we were able to kind of establish some care and grow a little bit. And then just most recently, we moved up to Erie. And so we are moving north and north and north, but continue to expand and continue to grow. So 2016 was when that all first happened. And then in 2020, when everything happened with COVID, we shut down like many other offices and many other businesses in the area. And so I was kind of getting some messages and some phone calls from patients asking when we'd be back open or if I could do house calls or anything like that. And just with everything going on, we stayed away from it. But that kind of gave me the nudge in the right direction to open I Come to You Chiropractic. And so that was opened in 2020, where basically we're a mobile chiropractic service. We go to your house, we go to your place of business, and basically provide chiropractic treatment there. And so that's kind of my journey in a nutshell.
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting, and originally when we met, I was telling you that I represent people that are catastrophically injured from truck wreck and brain injuries, and that the majority of them cannot get to their appointments. And so that's where we started to talk about your mobile company, which has been fantastic. And your chiropractic center is way different than most. You have people that are traveling to you. What is it like to be a patient of Dr. Hogan's? What is the experience like? Because you're doing some treatments other people aren't doing. The experience that you have at Hogan Chiropractic is different. The educational information you're putting out on social media is different. Everything you're doing is very visionary for the chiropractic field. So talk about what is it like to be a patient of yours?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think what it kind of comes down to, that may kind of differentiate our practice from others. I'm the only chiropractor in there, so we have other staff and front desk employees, but really, I'm with the patient the entire time, and so I'm able to build a rapport with patients. I'm able to talk to patients. More importantly, listen to patients, listen to their concerns. How did their pain happen? How did it start? What makes it better? What makes it worse? Really, kind of developing kind of that doctor patient relationship. But so I'm with the patient the entire time that I work with them. Having a little bit more of a sports background, doing a little bit more of some soft tissue modalities. We do, dry needling and Graston and a bunch of rehabilitative things. More so trying to educate the patient. And so it may be a little bit different than other offices, but I'm with that patient for the entire appointment. Doing some of those things, our appointment times are a little bit longer than others. So yes, we're chiropractic office by nature. We do adjust, we do manipulate the spine, but also offering those kind of secondary modalities to address soft tissue injuries, strained muscles, sprained ligaments, things of that nature there. So I think first and foremost, the biggest one is just having that complete time one on one with the doctor, with the patient. So
That's great. And then you've been doing a lot of education on your social media as we've been trying to do. And where kind of our thought process is combined is on this common question that probably both of us get, which is if someone is in a low speed, no property damage collision, they're naturally told by adjuster, maybe even family members, other physicians that are at the ER EMS that they're fine. Not, there's probably nothing that can be done. But what in reality, what you and me have both seen is that serious injuries can be sustained in low speed impact, no property damage cases. For one, I've had surgical clients that have been in this exact situation, and you have seen these problems as well. So I want to talk to you about some of these myths. And it is a myth out there that you can't really be injured if you were in a low speed, let's say less than 10 miles per hour, or there was no property damage, less than some skip marks on the actual vehicle. So talk to us if someone's in that kind of situation. What would you recommend? Would you recommend they see you? And if they do, kind of what are you looking for? And what are some of the injuries that could come about from this?
yeah, absolutely, and you hit the nail kind of right on the head. More times than not, you're heard from adjusters, unfortunately, or other family members, or whoever the case may be. That if you're in a parking lot or you're in stop and go traffic on 25, or like you said, 10, 15 miles an hour, whatever the case may be, that you can't have serious injuries related to it. And as you stated, some of the most serious injuries that I've seen are from those low impact, very low speed injuries there. I always go back to my physics days. You go to that, force equals mass times acceleration, all that kind of stuff there. The weight of the vehicle, and I know you see it with trucks and everything that you deal with, the weight of the vehicle can have a large impact on it. How the vehicle is hit, whether it's rear ended, whether it's head on, whether it's from the side, is the person aware of it? Does the airbag go off? Is the seatbelt on? There's a multitude of different factors that all go into that, to really dictate, hey, the severity of the issues that or the injuries that do happen when that impact occurs there. You may have heard it numerous times. List, it's like low impact soft tissue. You hear it all the time. It's like, you go to the hospital or the ER, they check you out and it's like, nope, it's just a soft tissue injury. It's a whiplash or it's a sprain strain. You'll be fine. Put some ice on it and, kind of go upon your way. Um, that is rarely the case. And I'm not trying to kind of pigeonhole things, but my recommendation for people who are involved in any form of accident, whether it's low impact or if it's even a high impact or whatever the case may be, get checked out. And so get things examined, whether it's imaging, whether it's going to a doctor or a chiropractor or a neurologist, the hospital, whatever the case may be. And I always tell patients too, just because, immediately after the accident, you don't necessarily, feel injured or you don't feel a lot of pain. More times than not, you have so much adrenaline and you have so many different factors going on, almost that state of shock. Things do tend to pop up further down the road. And so again, just being aware of how your body's feeling, of how things are kind of coming on. Just because you're not necessarily feeling something right off the get-go doesn't mean that something can't come on further down the road.
And I'll attest that going to Dr. Hogan or somebody else is a great sense in this to catch something because I have had clients. I have one right now that is a surgical candidate, really bad disc herniations, but had that sprain strain diagnosis at the ER. was told there's nothing to do. You don't even have to follow up with your primary care. Went to the primary care. Primary care said nothing to do. Put some ice pack or something like that. Luckily, did go to get some treatment, and we eventually did uncover this really bad injury. And so one of the things that you could do, doctor, I'm sure, is that you can kind of at that initial assessment understand if something is pretty severe based on maybe the way they're moving, the subjective ailments they're talking about, anything like that, that you could put them in the right course where they need to go, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we examine all new patients that come in. We put them through a complete set of orthopedic, neurological testing, obviously knowing more information about the accident, how it happened, position of them, position of the car, everything like that. That does help formulate a diagnosis. And then, like you said, if there are other imaging, if x-rays or MRIs or CTs or anything else is needed in the future, or at that time, we can definitely put them in that direction, like you said, to get that diagnosis that may have been missed at the initial onset.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you, Dr. Hogan. There's no other person that I would go to for chiropractic care. You are getting great information out to the public. We appreciate you sharing this. And if anybody wants to contact you just for a question or actually be a client of yours, where can they go for that info?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, Hogan Health and Chiropractic, as well as I Come to You Chiropractic, can both be accessed. Both can be booked online, or both offices can be reached either by phone or text as well.
Perfect. Great. And we'll put all your information in these show notes. And we appreciate you, Dr. Hogan, for just taking the time and educating us in what we should do after a wreck.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Caitlin.
All right. Thank you.